Hello, happy Monday, everyone, and happy decorating time to those in the chat who are already decorating. I'm Seville. Welcome to your Monday Night Flow. Tonight is a special night for many reasons. No, actually, just for one reason, really. Unless it's your birthday, then happy birthday, or you're celebrating something. Congratulations, things like that. But tonight, we are 100% of the proceeds and donations to this class we're donating to Basic Rights of Oregon. So November 20th was Trans Day of Remembrance. And so in order to do our part and to protect our trans brothers and sisters, we are honoring those who have passed on from, violence and other things. But we are donating 100% of our donations to the Basic Rights of Oregon, and we've posted about it. So if you want a more eloquent explanation of what we're doing, definitely check it out. But basically, what we're donating to is to fight against the trans panic defense that people use in the courts today to kind of get them off the hook of violent acts towards our trans brothers and sisters. So we are standing in solidarity, and we're doing good things. And everyone that has donated gets a chance to win this really beautiful bag. Not this one exactly, this one's mine. But one just like it, we can be bag twins from Basic Rights of Oregon, and it says protect trans kids. So it's very beautiful, and we have a very beautiful intention and purpose for our class tonight. So thank you all for joining tonight, and thank you for donating in advance. So we're gonna get started. As always, you have the opportunity, the choice to take what you need and leave what you don't. If you have had quite the Monday and you need a nap with your beverage, or just lay down time with your beverage, feel free to do that. If you've had quite a Monday and you need your butt kicked, and I'm not doing that, feel free to add in all the extra things. This is your practice. So we truly just make it your own and do what feels good and authentic for you tonight. We're going to get started on our backs. And yogi's choice on if you want the legs to be out long, you want the knees bent. Maybe you get on your back and realize, no, I don't want to be on my back. You can always come to a comfortable seat. And maybe the hands are alongside the body. Or maybe the hands are resting on the body. And maybe the eyes are closed if that feels comfortable. And if not, allow the gaze and the eyes to just get nice and kind of lazy and hazy. And allow yourself to start to come into this space. Allow the breath to become nice and intentional. Allowing the inhales and the exhales to lengthen out a little bit more. And as we start to settle into this rhythm of breath, into the space, let's set an intention for our practice. The intention that I'm offering for our practice tonight is love and acceptance and kindness. And bravery and understanding. Maybe one of those sticks out to you a little bit more than the others. Maybe you focus on that. Allow that to be your mantra. Allow that to be your focus. And if there's something else that you needed from your practice tonight, allow that to start to settle within the breath and within the mind. Let's start to turn our attention to our core. Yes, it's going to be one of those practices tonight. Nothing too crazy right now. Just with each exhale, start to feel the low belly draw in, the belly button draw back toward the spine, and those low ribs start to knit toward each other. Just that slight, subtle engagement. Just a slow, cute wake up for the core, really. Let's bring the hands behind the head, like you're laying in a hammock, ultimate hammock vibes right now. Maybe you imagine that you're in a hammock looking over the Caribbean, in a hammock in a secluded winery, or any favorite place that you put a hammock. But we're going to move the top body over to the right edge of the mat. Allow both shoulders to melt down toward the earth. If it's possible and okay with the shoulders, maybe both elbows start to move down toward the earth as well. Feel free to stay here, or you can bring the legs also over to the right edge of the mat, finding a cute little banana shape. Coming back to those really deep, intentional breaths alongside the body, but also across the heart, feeling really broad and open across the collarbones, from elbow tip to elbow tip. Elbow point, elbow tip. You choose, whichever you like better. And we'll come back to the center, keeping your cute little hammock hands, being aware of any beers that you put at the edge of your mat. Let's bring the body to the left side of the mat, left edge of the mat. Taking a couple breaths here to open up the side body to create some space in between the ribs, to allow the shoulders and the elbows to melt down toward the earth. And then maybe the legs join. And we'll come back to the center. Release the hands. We'll stretch nice and long through the body. Maybe you point and flex the toes. Maybe you roll the wrists around. Maybe a yawn or two escapes, and that's beautiful. And let's bring the knees in toward the chest. Just hugging on to the knees really quick, giving yourself a cute little squeeze. Then we'll bring the knees above the hips, finding a nice 90-degree angle with the legs, if that feels okay. Then imagine that you're pressing the feet into a wall. And then let's engage the low core, making sure that we're not finding a sassy back here, but try to keep the low back moving down toward the earth. So feel free to stay here, or take your right heel and tap it down toward the earth. Maybe it touches, maybe it doesn't. And you'll bring your right knee up to meet your left. And then the left heel, whoop, touches down, and the leg comes back up. So feel free to follow your breath as you move through this. Feel free to add sound effects if you want to boop it down. Maybe you're like, so let's get this core moment happening. And maybe you bring both heels down, boop, and then back up. So following your breath here, really taking your time, no rush. And if you're really wanting to get more of the body involved, reach the hands up to the sky. And as you lower the left foot, the left arm will move backward and back up. And then right heel down, right hand back and up. And if you're doing both heels, maybe both hands move down. Get real crazy with it. And then back up. One more time on each side, or two more times if you're doing both. And let's hug the knees in toward the chest. Maybe you rock a little side to side. And we'll come back to the center. We'll find that 90-degree angle again. This time imagine, not only are you pushing into a wall, but you have like a cute little growler or block in between the knees, and you're squeezing it together in all sorts of engagement and activity in the legs. And bringing the arms out to a cactus shape, or you can bring the hands back to the hammock hands, or out to a T, and start to lower the knees to the right. And next breath brings the knees back to the center, and then knees over to the left and back to the center. Making sure you're not losing your imaginary growler or block, or maybe you have a real block. I wouldn't recommend doing this with a real growler though. Just don't want any messes. And your choice on how low you bring the knees, you just have to bring them back up. Just say another cute hello to the core. One more time on each side. And we'll hug the knees in toward the chest again. And however it makes sense in the body, maybe you rock and roll up and down the spine, maybe you move to the side and come on up. We're going to come to a comfortable seat. Legs can be crossed, they can be out in front of you, whatever makes sense in your body. And we're going to reach the hands forward. We're going to link the thumbs. It's kind of hard to see because I'm wearing tie-dye. Link the thumbs. And start to find this gentle pull of the thumbs. And you can say hello to your shoulders now. So keep the belly pulled in and keep the heart lifting as we start to reach the fingertips up toward the sky. Depending on your shoulders, maybe this is where you stop, or maybe you continue moving the fingers up. But making sure, again, you're not getting too sassy in the back. So you're keeping that engagement of the core. Feel free to stay here or rotating around the waist. We're going to rotate toward the left knee. And we'll come back to the center. Won't be too crazy or too much of a rotation. It's from deep in the core, deep in the body. You'll start to rotate. One more time each side. We'll release the thumbs and let's fold forward over the legs. Tucking the chin, maybe you rock a little side to side. Let's start to walk the hands back toward the body, stacking the spine. Finding that long spine, the core that's pulled in. And inhale, let's reach the hands up to the sky. Let's cactus out the arms. So we're going to start to find that rotation again. We'll rotate toward that left knee, but then we're going to, I'm a little teapot it, and bring the right elbow down toward the right knee and bring it back up. We'll come back to the center. I'm a little teapot is a very technical yoga term, so feel free to use it at any point during your yoga practice. And left elbow comes down, come back to the center. Check back in with the shoulders, make sure that the shoulders aren't eating the ears. And making this movement nice and intentional. I kind of feel like on Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, when they're trying to rescue the children from the castle, and they sing, "What do you see? You people can't see at me." So maybe you are channeling your best Chitty Chitty Bang Bang right now. And we'll bring that left elbow down and bring it back to the center. And we'll reach the hands up to the sky and hands to the heart. And we'll lift the heart up toward the hands. You know where we're going. Let's start to tip on back, finding our boat pose, finding that same cute block or growler moment. Feel free to stay here, or we'll start to find our cute little heel taps. One foot, one heel at a time, or both heels at a time. You do you, or you can give me foot fives. Foot five, foot five, foot five. And remember which foot was in front, because we're going to put the other foot in front now. Just so you guys know, I was at work for almost 12 hours today, so might be a little delirious, but that's okay. Inhale, let's reach the hands up to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. We'll reach the hands forward, and we're going to put the other thumb on top this time. So it's going to feel like the weird thumb on top. That's typically how I know that I've alternated. Belly pulls in, heart lifts up as we slowly lift those fingertips up toward the sky. Again, feel free to stop where it feels comfortable and safe for your shoulders. And this time, let's start rotating toward the right knee, changing things up on you. Come back to the center and over to the left and back to the center. And one more time each side. And again, let's fold forward. Tucking the chin. Again, option to sway side to side, or maybe you come up onto the fingertips like this. And we'll walk the hands back toward the body. Inhale, let's sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more time. Inhale, we'll sweep, get some movement in the shoulders, and hands to the heart. Let's find our way to table pose. Let's inhale, drop the belly, send the heart forward, finding cow pose. Exhale, we'll round the spine, tuck the chin, Finding cat pose. Flowing through this a couple times. Next time we come to cow pose, let's tuck the toes and let's reach the hips up and back, finding our downward facing dog. Feel free to make it a wiggly dog. You can pedal out the legs. You can bend the knees. You can come up onto the tiptoes. Feel free to stay here, or with your next inhale, we'll roll forward, finding our way to plank, top of a push-up. Exhale, hips up and back, down dog. 2 more times, following your breath. Let's bend the knees, look in between the hands, so we'll make our way forward. Finding our forward fold. Inhale, let's halfway lift. Exhale, we'll fold. Inhale, we'll rise up and reach up. And hands come to the heart. Inhale, let's reach. Exhale, let's fold. Inhale, halfway lift, finding that strong table back. Belly pulls in, heart reaches forward, crown of the head reaches forward. And let's fold again. Bend the knees, plant the hands, stepping back, downward facing dog. And from our down dog, if it makes sense in the body, right foot reaches up and back. With our next exhale, we're going to bring the right knee in toward the right chest, into the chest. There we go. Bringing shoulders over hips. And then we'll send it back. One more time, we'll crunch it in. This time we'll step that foot forward. It doesn't have to be one step. It can be multiple steps and helps forward. And we'll bring the left knee down, finding our low lunge. Belly pulls in, heart reaches forward. Let's bring the hands up toward the sky. And let's find nice, strong, active legs here. Imagine that you're dragging that front foot backward and that back knee forward. And we'll reach the hands forward, finding your link of the thumbs. Belly pulls in as we lift the fingers up toward the sky. And let's rotate toward that front leg and make sure that that front knee continues to point forward. You know, sometimes for me, my knee likes to start to journey where my chest is pointing. So keep that front knee pointed forward. And let's release the thumbs, finding our cactus arms. Feeling really broad from elbow point to elbow point. Then maybe you start to straighten the arms, finding a T shape in the arms. Let's bring the hands to the heart. We'll twist forward. Hands come down to the earth. Let's tuck the back toe, lift the back knee. And does not have to be graceful. Let's make our way back to downward facing dog. From down dog, let's roll forward to plank. We'll bring the knees down. We'll move the beer out of the way. We'll shine the heart forward. Let's start to slowly lower down. Elbows point back. Legs are planted down toward the earth, using the strength of the legs to bring the shoulders up, back, and down to shine the heart forward. Finding your little baby cobra. And we'll bring it on down, however makes sense in the body, back to downward facing dog. And from down dog, left foot reaches up and back if that makes sense in the body. Exhale, crunches that left knee in. And then we'll send it out. We'll crunch that left knee in. This time, maybe you step it forward. Maybe you help it forward. We'll find our low lunge. Belly pulls in, heart reaches forward. So we rise up, finding those strong, active legs. Hands reach forward. Awkward thumb goes on top now. Belly pulls in as we reach the fingertips up toward the sky. And we'll start to rotate toward that front knee. Breath is strong. And we'll cactus the arms. Finding that openness in the heart. And then maybe you start to find that T shape in the arms. We'll bring the hands to the heart. We'll turn the body forward. Bring the hands down onto the earth. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, and we'll step forward. Finding our forward fold. Again, inhale, let's halfway lift. Exhale, we'll fold. Inhale, let's rise up and reach up. Hands to the heart. We're going to root through the left foot. We'll bring the right knee up toward the chest. Instead of finding a wall to push into, imagine that you're stepping onto a step. Nice, strong, active leg. And let's send the right leg back, finding our crescent pose. Juice up that back leg. We're going to inhale, reach the hands up to the sky as we straighten that front leg, pressing into that front big toe. And as we bend into that front knee, we'll cactus out the arms and we'll twist toward that front leg. Inhale, let's rise up. A nice, slow, intentional movement here. One more time. This time we're going to hold it here for a breath. And again, let's find that T shape in the arms. We'll bring the hands to the heart again. This time we're going to stay twisted. We're going to step into that front leg. We're going to sneak the back leg to meet the front, finding a twisted chair. Sneak attack chair. And we'll untwist. Inhale, let's reach up to the sky. Exhale, let's find our chair, fly the arms back. Inhale, we'll reach. Exhale, fold forward. One more time, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold forward. We're gonna root into the right foot as we bring that left knee up. Finding a nice active leg here. Hands come to the heart as we send the left foot back, finding our crescent. Nice, strong, active back leg. As we inhale, straighten with all sorts of intention. That front leg, arms reach up. Exhale, let's bend into that front knee, finding our cactus arms. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist. One more time. And this time, we will hold. And maybe you start to find that T shape in the arms. Maybe you bring the hands to the heart. And we'll start to step into that front foot as we sneak attack chair, twisted chair. to this side. We'll untwist and let's fold forward, bowing forward, and we'll rise back up. 2 more times. And this time as we come forward, we'll come to a forward fold, straightening the legs. Breath is strong. Feel free to grab opposite elbows here if that feels comfortable. If not, you can keep hands on the earth or hands holding on to the legs in some fashion. Maybe you sway a little bit side to side. And let's inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we'll fold. Let's bend the knees, plant the hands, step the left foot way back, staying up on those back toes. Let's pull the belly in, shine the heart forward, rising up, finding our crescent pose. We'll bring the hands to the heart. We're going to twist toward that front leg, staying upright. And then we'll start to twist toward the left edge of the mat as we twist open to find our warrior 2. So making sure you have really good, strong foundation here. Front knee pointing in the same direction as those front toes, actively rooting through this back leg. Let's inhale, reach the hands up to the sky, straighten that front leg. And let's find our hammock hands. Yes. And let's bend into that front knee. So feel free to stay here if you're like, yes, this is where I need to be. Perfect. Or we're going to move through side angle and reverse warrior with hammock hands. So we're going to keep the heart lifting up toward the sky, keep the belly pulling in as we bring that right elbow down toward the right knee and coming back up. And left elbow tips back and coming back up. Continue to follow your breath here. Focusing on the movement as it's originating from the core here. It's amazing how tricky this movement can be once we take out the arms. The arms just give us the extra flair. Coming back over to side angle. And this time we'll straighten that front leg. Let's release the hands. Coming into a reverse triangle, we'll reach the right hand up toward the sky, breathing deeply into that right side body. And let's cartwheel the hands down onto the earth. Does not have to be graceful. Let's step our way back to downward facing dog. And from down dog, feel free to stay here, to hop to child's pose, to do whatever you need to do. Or if you'd like to flow through the vinyasa, we'll roll forward to plank or modified plank. Use your entire exhale to lower down. And your entire inhale to find your cobra, or maybe you put a little more weight into the hands. And we'll meet back in down dog, but take your time, no rush. And from down dog, we'll make our way forward. Feel free to stroll, somersault, hop, walk, levitate your way to the top of your mat, finding your forward fold. Again, we'll find our opposite elbows, and we'll take a moment to reconnect with our breath as we hang upside down. Easy enough, right? We'll release the hands. Let's inhale, find our halfway lift. Taking a breath, a moment of pause here. And then exhale, let's fold, bend the knees, plant the hands. We're gonna step that right foot way back this time. Belly pulls in, heart reaches forward, rising up, finding our crescent pose. Hands come to the heart. We'll rotate toward that front leg. We're gonna rotate toward the right edge of the mat, opening up, finding our warrior two, facing the right edge of the mat. Arms reach out. Let's inhale, straighten that front leg, reach up to the sky. Find your hammock hands, and let's bend into that front knee. Let's drop the left elbow down toward the earth. Come back up and reverse. And follow your breath here. One more time, flowing through this. And next time you come to that reverse, let's straighten that front leg, reaching the left hand up toward the sky, finding our reverse triangle. And we'll cartwheel the hands down around that front foot. And let's look forward and step forward, finding our forward fold. Inhaling to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll rise up and reach up. And hands come to the heart. Inhale, let's reach. And hands back to the heart. We'll bring hand over heart. We'll start to reconnect with our breath. Reconnect with our intention. Coming back to maybe that phrase, that word, those few words. We'll blink the eyes open. And let's root through that left foot. Feel free to keep the hands at the heart if that feels wonderful, or you can do whatever you want with them. We'll root through that left foot. We'll bring the right knee up. Finding activation and intention with that leg. It's not just dead weight hanging there. It's doing its own work. We will bring the hands to the heart this time, hands to that prayer position. We'll rotate toward that front leg. Feel free to stay here. You can cactus out the arms. You can find that T shape. Maybe you start to press the right foot forward. Staying here for another breath. We'll bend into that front. We'll bend the front knee. We'll untwist. We'll send that foot back. We'll find our crescent pose. We'll reach the hands forward, linking the thumbs. Arms reach up. We'll rotate toward that front leg. Arms come out to that T shape. Back hand glides along that back leg. Right hand reaches up toward the sky. Coming back to that T shape. Both hands reach up to the sky. And hands come down onto the earth. Let's step our way back. Downward facing dog. Option to move through the vinyasa. To find some stillness, if that's what you need. Just taking some time to reconnect with the breath and the body, and giving yourself exactly what you need. And it could be taking a drink of your tasty beverage. And from down dog, if it makes sense in the body, left foot reaches up and back. Left foot steps forward. Again, it doesn't have to be graceful. Belly pulls in, heart reaches forward. Finding our crescent pose again. Hands come to the heart. We're going to step into that front foot, sneak attack chair. We'll reach the hands up. And we'll dramatically fold over our legs and back up. One more drama. And we'll rise on up as we reach up. And hands come to the heart. Reconnect with your breath. We'll start to root into that right foot. Left knee comes up. Finding the activation, the intention of that leg. And we'll start to rotate toward that front leg. And then we'll find our cactus arms. Maybe you start to extend the arms out. And maybe you start to press that foot forward. Staying here for a couple more breaths. We'll bend that front knee. We'll untwist. And we'll find our crescent pose. Let's reach the arms forward. Awkward thumb on top. And we'll reach the hands up toward the sky. And we'll rotate toward that front leg. And let's tee the arms. And we'll glide that back hand along the back leg. Coming back, finding that T shape. And we'll cartwheel the hands down onto the earth. And again, one last time to move through that vinyasa. We'll make our way back to down dog. Option for movement, option for stillness. Regardless of the option, make sure you breathe. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog. And from our down dog, right leg reaches up and back. And we'll step that right foot forward. Belly pulls in, heart shines forward. We'll rise up. Hands come to the heart. We'll start to step into that front foot, sneak attack chair. This is the last chair. So let's be super dramatic about it. Arms reach up and exhale. Fold forward. And arms reach up. Fold forward. And we'll root into the feet, straighten the legs, reach up. And hands come to the heart. We'll heel toe the feet about mat's width distance apart, and slower than you want to, we're going to start lowering down, making sure that the knees are pretty much lining up with the toes. And right when you at that point, you want to start sinking down. Let's rise back up. Hey-oh. And let's bring it on down again. Listen, guys, we're going to bring it up again. I'm just keeping us in shape and prepared for when we can go out dancing again. And then when we all need to drop it low, you'll be thanking me, I promise. And we'll bring it all the way down this time. If you want to get your moves going to bring it all the way down, get to it. And if dropping it all the way down is not happening for you, you can find our coach pose, where the forearms are resting on the thighs. Or you can bring it all the way down. So feel free to stay here, keeping the spine nice and long. Or you can take the left hand, reach it down toward the earth as you reach the right hand up toward the sky. Finding that great big wingspan from fingertip to fingertip. And you can do the same thing if you're in coach pose. We'll come back to the center, finding that long spine. And then over to the other side. Right hand comes down and left hand reaches up to the sky. And we'll come back to the center. Does not have to be graceful. Boop. We're bringing it all the way down. Stretch the legs out nice and long. Maybe give them a good shake. I don't know about you, but my hip flexors are a little my hip flexors, there we go, words, Seville, are talking to me. So give your legs a good shake out. I'm going to come face you guys. We're going to bring our legs out wide. Yogi's choice on what your V looks like. You have a shallow one, or you can bring it out wide. Whatever feels good for you. And if your hamstrings are really talking to you and you're having a hard time letting the legs relax down, maybe you have a couple pillows or some blankets you can put underneath the legs to provide that extra comfort, because we will be here for a couple moments, more than a couple moments actually. But we'll bring the left hand onto that left leg, and let's reach the right hand up toward the sky. Again, finding that really long, broad wingspan, finding that rotation around the waist, that same rotation that we've been working on our entire practice. Feel free to stay here, or you can start to reach the right hand toward the left toes. But you want to still keep that rotation. So a lot of times what happens is we start to, oh yeah, I can reach my toes, I can reach my toes. But we're going to focus on the rotation today. So if you find yourself starting to sink in, pop it right back out and find the rotation. But this is a lot of work. It's a Monday night. We've been working a lot. So you can always bring your bottom hand to rest on your head on. You can take that top hand and top arm and rest it on your head. And you can work on the rotation that way. Or this way with the bottom hand down. Whatever works best for you. Just breathe deeply into all the spaces that are opening, that are being worked. And we'll find all of that drama again as we fold forward. Doesn't have to be any type of fancy forward fold. Could just be that the hands are reaching forward. We're not doing the Presidential Physical Fitness Award right now. So you do you. And we'll walk the hands back toward the body, finding that long spine again. If you have the extra support underneath the legs, maybe you need to adjust it a little bit. But we'll bring the right hand onto the right leg. This time the left arm sweeps up to the diagonal, finding that rotation in the waist. Again, feel free to stay here, or you can start to, I'm a little teapot on over. See it full circle, man. Or maybe you want to get nice and I don't want to say lazy. We're just working smarter, not harder, I guess. But just even if you are in this rested, we'll call it, rested opening of the side body, make sure that you continue to rotate at the waist, that your hips continue to drop down toward the earth, that your breath continues to be nice and full and intentional. And we'll get real dramatic about it as we roll forward. Tucking the chin, swaying a little bit side to side. We'll start to walk the hands back toward the body. And let's bring the hands underneath the legs and use the strength of the arms to bring the knees back together. And let's start to lower down. Nothing fancy. Just bring it on down. Once you make your way down there, let's hug the knees in toward the chest. We'll bring the left foot down onto the earth and let's cross that right ankle over the left knee. We'll just keep it real nice and chill here, nothing too crazy. Feel free to just keep that left foot on the earth as you breathe into this figure four shape. Or you can hug the legs in toward the body. But if you're hugging the legs into the body and you realize that you're straining and your neck is coming up in order to reach the legs, then maybe you don't hug the legs in. And you prioritize the release of the neck over having the legs closer to the body. And we'll bring the left foot down onto the earth and the right foot. And let's hug that left knee in. And when you feel ready, you'll cross that left ankle over the right knee. Taking a couple moments, a couple breaths with the right foot down on the earth. And if it makes sense in your body, you can hug the legs in. Recognizing without judgment that our hips are very different. So this hip might be giving you a little more sass than the other. Maybe it's the other way around. For me, this is my sassy hip. So I'm hearing all sorts of back talk from it right now. And we'll bring the right foot down onto the earth. And the left foot. We'll bring the knees back in toward the chest again, finding either that cactus shape in the arms that we became so familiar with today, or that T shape, again, a very familiar arm variation for us. And let's lower the knees over to the left. And if you have any of those extra pillows or blankets that you maybe were using earlier, maybe you use those props to help bolster yourself in this pose, because we're going to be here for quite a few breaths. But can you start to feel that melting sensation down toward the earth, specifically in the shoulders and the arms? As you start to settle into this pose, you may need to wiggle around a little more to find that nice, comfy spot. And as you feel ready, let's bring the knees back in toward the chest, keeping the arms as they are. And next exhale brings the knees over to the right. And again, take these next few rounds of breath to fidget and wiggle around and get into that nice cozy space on this side. As we start to slow down the body, can you start to sink back into that space that you created at the beginning of your practice? That really deep, intentional breath, that mindfulness of your intention for your practice. We'll come back to the center. And taking your time, we're actually going to sneak right up into a comfortable seat. Got a little carried away with our twists. We'll count those as our Shavasana tonight. But really take your time getting upright. No rush. And if you're really needing and craving that long, beautiful Shavasana, I'm not going to stop you. You stay right there. So let's inhale, reach the hands up to the sky. And let's exhale, bringing the hands to the heart. Let's bring hand over heart. Thank you for sharing your practice, energy, and spirit with me tonight. The light within me honors the light within each and every one of you. Namaste. And cheers. Thank you guys so much again for joining me tonight. Thank you in advance for your kindness and generosity when it comes to donating to this really important cause. And I implore each and every one of you to take some time to do some research about those that we've lost this year from violence, and just find a little extra love and acceptance, and yeah, just a little extra love and acceptance in your heart. But we are going to have a Thanksgiving morning class. Mickey will be leading that, and then you know how to find us. Just the normal time and place. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Have a beautiful week.